Welcome to Healings and Meditations with Frank Jordan and the Earth Mind Think Tank Group. We welcome all listeners and chatters. Any questions can be called in to 1-775-657-5973. 1-775-657-5973. If you're in the chat room on Wolf Spirit Radio, which is wolfspiritradio.com/wolfchat, please post questions in uppercase letters, in capital letters. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Wolf Spirit Radio, April 16th, 2014, and moving right along into the new age, new world age, and the new order of consciousness that we're helping to bring in. And of course, this is our Earth Mind Think Tank Group, where we focus on the Earth situations and Earth problems, and do what we can to help Earth Mind, Gaia, the consciousness of the living Earth, by working through the polarity of Earth's chakra system, working with the earthquakes and the weather patterns, and helping to clear off the stress of humanity that has been put upon the world through the choices and actions of the domination force in the last 20,000 years. And so as we focus more and more and deeper into the reality that not only do we have the ability to tune into Earth Mind and the energetic systems of Gaia, but we have the right and the need and the authority to do that simply because, as it says on the first page of the Bible, and man shall have dominion over the earth and all the creatures that walk and crawl and swim in the oceans and plants that grow. I don't know how it says it, but that's what the intention of that was, is to let humans know from the deepest source of consciousness, those who, pardon me, set up those preambles, is that we are here as caretakers of the world, and we are here to care for the environment, and we are here to carry the Earth and all of Earth consciousness, human consciousness, into a new age of awareness, an age of awareness that it has learned the lessons of the domination force, and its tenure here in the last 26,000 years, in that age that just passed, and we're into the new world age now of dominion. And as we incorporate it within ourselves and learn to work through the subtle energy fields, so we're directly in support of the physical systems of the world, the electromagnetic systems, then with consciousness we can direct and change the world. And the beauty of it is it's all done with self-awareness. As we do our clearing work and release the negative activities that have been patterned into us through our genetics and through the morphogenetic fields of domination on Earth and Earth mind patterns in the Akashic records, as we continue to clear and realize and understand how it all works, we come into power over it. Because when you understand how something works, no matter what it is, you have power over it, the power of consciousness. And this power of consciousness is evolving to where the humans that are here on Earth at this time have the opportunity to create a paradise on Earth, which we can take out into the cosmos with us. And even though we realize we are observed constantly and assisted by extraterrestrials, and working through there and arriving on the UFOs, and also not just in the UFOs, but in thought form projections. I know our group is in direct attunement now with what we call the galactic flow, the galactic energies, galactic consciousness, and this is telepathic communication with we don't know exactly where it comes from because we're not evolved enough yet to understand that. But as long as we accept the help and the direction of the galactics, it helps us to move higher and higher in consciousness. And at some point, they will appear for us. We will be in the frequency range where we can see and understand and communicate directly with them. And that's our need right now, is to help hang the world together, keep it hanging together, and keep the population stable, to keep the environment stable so it can produce enough food for everyone. And at a time in the near future, in the fourth dimension, it will be a new world, and it's the new world of consciousness and expression and evolution. And the fourth dimension is a transition zone of learning how to use our gifts and skills and abilities that are inherited in us by our divine right, by learning how to stimulate our cellular consciousness to reassemble the 12 strands of DNA that we have potential for us. And look at what we've done with just 2 strands. Think what is potential and possible with 12 strands. And that energy and information in the DNA is in our cells right now. It was just broken and scattered by the Anunnaki. But the etheric form and model for it is there. And by reaching, grasping, understanding, asking, and actually creating this with the power of our own thoughts and intent, we're pulling these DNA strands together. And it's coming together in core groups just like the one we have, and what we'll have in the Garden Valley Healing Center when that comes into form. And so through attraction, the power of want and need, and understanding of the potential, we are manifesting the new world reality in the fourth dimension. And so I welcome you all, my friends, to another day of working in the energetics of Earth Mind. And to do that, we'll go directly to Southern California now and look at the earthquake grid there. And we'll use our usual method of accessing expanded consciousness through the subconscious mind into the subtle energy field. And in the subtle energy field, we can direct and manifest and alter reality out there as it appears to us. It's all just a hologram, and now it's a hologram held in form by thought. And our thoughts, as we expand our capacity to understand, are growing constantly in not only self-realization, but realization of who we are and what we're here to do. So let's begin our meditation. Take your awareness up into your forehead now. Be in a totally comfortable, relaxed state, because you will be out of mind and out of body for the next hour. Begin to move your awareness back through the frontal lobes, the conscious reasoning state that you're active in now. Just move that point of awareness back a step, and you enter into the high soul center of all humans, the transitory soul center that moves between lifetimes and continues its evolution, its growth of consciousness through participation with us in the physical. So just feel yourself expand now into the unified morphogenic field of all humans, expanding laterally. And you'll notice that there's a new flow of energy coming into the soul center. This is a flow that's coming from higher consciousness, from the galactic center that is prompting our soul memories of who we have been in the past, opening us up to the fulfilling potential of creating this new world reality. So just let yourselves expand here for a moment and come into the wholeness of self-realization of who you really are. And as we do this more often, more memories, more promptings can pass through the veil and into our inner consciousness and directly out into our main consciousness construct. Now take a step on further back to the psychic center. This is where we as humans can have direct communication with others without the necessity of electromagnetic communication grids. Feel yourself move into the pineal gland now and reach out and touch those you know with the realization that as long as we're in this center in our heads, wherever we put our point of attention, it opens channels of communication, of resonance, of feeling. And feeling is the language of the universe. Through feelings, our brains are stimulated to bring into awareness consciousness, thought, and realizations. So we tune into the psychic center now. Now take a step further back into that expanded field of consciousness within yourself that is the subconscious mind as associated through the chakra system. Those levels of consciousness within us that manage the physical body and have attunement to outer awareness through the vibraports into all other levels of consciousness on the earth or in the universe. The vibraports are incredible antennae on the surface of our skin, reaching out into the ether, into the matrix, gathering information or sending information. This is the morphogenic field of all human consciousness. To tune into that field now. Gathering information through the subconscious mind, which delivers it to the conscious mind so we can rationally think and gather intent. And now what we're gathering is the information we need today in our meditation to work in world events. And this is being prompted by the galactic flow to the soul center. And now we drop this information down into the subconscious mind as we unify with the chakra system, down all the way down to the 0 point in the heart. And this is where it all happens. All the information gathering, all the awareness comes to center in this indwelling spirit in our hearts. And here is where we can deliver intent, desire, and will to manifest through the 0 point, to de-manifest negativity and re-manifest in the standing waves of the future positive things that we desire for the entire world in the abundance of dominion. Feel yourself in that 0 point and let the knowledge grow within you that here's where our power actually comes into manifestation and expression. And now drop your awareness on down the spine to the root chakra. And this is the portal between our primitive animal cells and on down into earth mind, which is the female principal polarity, Mother Earth. And there's also a 0 point in the 12 chakras of earth mind that is in direct resonance with 12 chakras above our heads in another orb of consciousness that is the oversoul consciousness, the male polarity. But with our soul, our conscious intent operating through the 0 point in the mid-range of consciousness, we stimulate, we request, and our requests Our asking is honored by Oversoul and Undersoul. By manifesting the form and function and structure of things, we materialize in the physical plane through the 0 point. And this is how it works, and this is where our power is. So this self-realization, internalize that now by dropping that down from the mental lobes that are listening to this, down into your inner consciousness so it becomes part of your working reality. Internalization becomes self-realization. Now we'll drop awareness on down back into Earth Mind again and take our awareness to Southern California and the earthquake grid. And the reason we go to the earthquake grid is not only to stabilize the earth movements, the plate movements and whatnot, to limit destructive earthquakes. We do this by lifting the building stress energy from the plates upward through channels or through ancient volcanoes, upward into the ionosphere, where we've created a golden grid of consciousness as a protective field around the world to protect us against solar flares and any intrusive forces from the solar system. So
okay.
All right, we're picking.
We are being screwed with big time today.
Yeah, something really going on.
Well, as soon as everyone gets back on, I'll explain that.
Mute your mics, too.
Am I muted now?
No.
You're good.
All right.
You're not supposed to be muted.
Yeah, we don't want you muted, just everyone else.
All right. Yeah.
I sit here.
All right.
I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden I watch the call go away. I can't get back in to set it up.
Mm-hmm.
Skype, I hope someday you get it right in your brick.
Well, this happens, Dave, every time we really get some important movement. And that's what's been happening this past few days.
This is opposition resistance.
Yeah, we know.
Right.
We are not strangers to this.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead. Go ahead. I'll edit all the other stuff out of here. So go ahead. You got it.
All right, we're on. Again, drop back into your deep core of central consciousness. Float, move your awareness down the spine into Earth Mind, and through Earth Mind to Southern California. Reconnect with the earthquake grid, the ring of fire. Lift the energy from Southern California up the spine, out through the crown chakra, into the golden grid. And as you tune into the golden grid, feel that energy flow up your spine as we're transmuting the stress of Earth into beneficial consciousness that can be utilized to enhance and empower and protect the world. You know, just get the feeling of everyone together again, unified as one through the heart center, resonating directly to, put your attention on Earth chakras, to an end of the core reality, the heart chakra of Earth. And when you get that warm glow, that glow of energy, that's Earth. That's Earth Mind. Now come back in to awareness in Southern California. Reconnect the earthquake energies up the spine, through oversoul into the ionosphere. Feel that spread around the world in our protective golden grid shield. And now connect back into Earth Mind. Go to Southern California. Lift the flows up the spine. And we feel ourselves come back into harmony with Earth Mind. Now move your awareness northward to San Francisco. Along the San Andreas Fault, continue lifting, clearing, releasing. And further north to the Oregon line, where we meet the San Juan de Fuca Plate, and there is an incredible amount of new earthquake activity being released in the Humboldt Hill area. These are minor as of yet, so keep these energies flowing so they won't build up into a major shift that could cause a tsunami. Now move eastward to the Sierra Nevada mountains on the eastern edge of California and stretch your awareness down the full length of that subduction zone that is lifting the Sierra Mountains. Lift that energy upward. Now you're getting the feeling of it again. That was a good flow. You're doing wonderfully well, everyone. Now move your awareness further eastward, beyond Las Vegas to the base of the Rocky Mountains, up through Salt Lake City, on up into the Yellowstone, where we have all ongoing minor activity within the cauldron, the northwest, actually it's northeast of West Yellowstone. Lift those energies upward, release the stress of the cauldron. There's a tremendous amount of energy here. It almost fills up our entire aura as it flows upward and into the ionosphere. And as we do this, we can feel the morphogenic field of Earth Mind consciousness in that area that's been created by the cauldron. And you feel a relaxation of the cauldron now. Now there is some activity in Chalice, Idaho. There, in that particular range, this can build up into a major quake, so let's lift that energy upward. There was one there about 30 years ago that was very destructive. Lift that energy upward. This is in the region of Mount Bora. And on northward, northwest of Chalice. northward to Chateau, Montana. Minor activity there in the Rocky Mountains. Now shifts back westward to the northwest Oregon and Washington. A lot of activity in the Cascade Range now, all the way up to Oregon and into the volcanic regions. Lift those energies up the ancient volcanoes in the Cascades and upward through Puget Sound, Mount Olympia. And this is subduction zone energy. I'll move on northward along the Pacific coast of Canada, all the way up to the Alaskan line and inward. Central Alaska, there's hundreds of minor earthquakes, and these seem to be intensifying further northward now. Almost up into central Alaska. Lift those upward. This is quite an intensification, and as I predicted with the eclipse, I predicted it would stimulate more activity, and that's what we see happening. Lift the energy, the slips caused and generated by the pull of the moon, intensified through the sun. In the eclipse, lift it all upward. Distributed around the earth. That region in central Alaska is the most intensive earthquake region in the world. And it's caused by the Gulf of Alaska, the North Pacific Plate, thrusting underneath it. Now move your awareness down the Aleutian chain. Ongoing activity there almost all the way through that crescent along the Aleutian Trench. Volcanic activity here as well as subduction zone activity. Now move eastward to the Kamchatka Trench, stretching from Russia down to Japan, where it becomes the Japan Trench. And now there's quite a lot of activity along the coast of Japan, which means that the movement of that subduction zone beneath Japan. We lift those energies, the full length of Japan now, and lift them in a whirling vortex of energy upward, encompassing the radioactivity being released by the nuclear reactors. Lift that radioactivity upward. We're into the golden bed where it's transmuted into beneficial energy. Energy is never lost. It simply changes form. And it changes form in response to our desire and will. These are 4.7, so these are getting quite intense. It gives us lots of energy to work with to clear the radioactivity. Now move your awareness down to Taiwan. Again, we're seeing responses that have not been there in the past. The responses to the moon activity, all the way down into the Philippines. Lift that upward, letting go of the stress that was built up by the eclipse and being released now. And swing on down into the Java Trench and the Indonesian Crescent. Now move east.
Okay, peace and harmony.
I think we're back in the flow now. So let's put a protective shield around Skype, around Dave Corso, the Will Spirit Network, so those intrusive energies can't come in and block our call. Now use the force of unconditional love. Let it flow through you, out your hands as energy, wrapping the cables, the network, the electronic system to protect us against those intrusive energies. And we do this with the realization that when we're attacked, we have the full right and the authority to respond with neutralizing energy. And because we understand their self-conceived need to block us, because as we win, they lose, bring forth a flow of understanding to them from the golden grid, the flow of dominion that'll bring peace and harmony to all living things. And this let the intent come down that they lose their focus of thought and consciousness, their intent to block our productions. We've been aware for some time that they monitor our work and our calls, and that they have the capacity to disrupt us. Only we're sending back unconditional love. We're not empowering their negativity with more negativity. All right, that feels better. Now let's see if we can sustain that as we come back to the earthquake grid. And we're in the Tonga Trench now, moving down to New Zealand. No activity there. All the way to South America. There's quite a lot of inland activity through the ancient volcanoes in the subduction zone of the Andes Mountains, particularly in the region of northern Chile, Iquirque. Lift that energy upward. There's even been some 5.3s and 6s in that region. That's ongoing. Release that energy and use it to reinforce in the golden grid our intent to block the opposition forces that are attempting to block our and move your awareness further north to Central America. Some intense inland activity, and again, this is a response in the northern hemisphere to the moon, release in Niagara, Nicaragua, around Nandami, and on northward to Guatemala. And move eastward to Santo Domingo, Puerto Rico. Ongoing activity there. Lift those energies upward so they won't become a destructive. And move on eastward across the Atlantic to the Mediterranean. And there's one major bit of activity at Lyra Petra, Greece. That one is on the major fault line that causes the volcanoes and disruptive activities there. Lift those upward. Now eastward to Afghanistan, at Farkar, activity in the northern Afghanistan mountains. Now on to China, at Entragu, Entragu. And now, eastward again across the Pacific, back to our point of beginning. And in the United States, go to Oklahoma. And the distress that's being caused by the fracking, resulting in mid-range 3-point below activity. And this is extending westward from there into Colorado, southern Colorado, where there is, again, energy extraction. Now move your awareness to the New Madrid Fault in Missouri. Lift that energy upward. That's from deep inner core plates. It can cause tremendous destruction when they release. And on eastward to Vonora, Tennessee. Lift that energy upward. Now return to your point of beginning in Southern California. Bring your awareness back internally and up the spine to the level of human activity that's causing stress around the world. And we bring our attention once again to the ongoing stress being causing the financial world by the resistance of the Illuminati and the cabal and the powers that hold 95% of the world's assets. Within the desire and will and response to them to release those assets in such a manner that the entire world can benefit from it in dominion. And is underway right now as the global reset is occurring in the revaluation of the currencies and redistribution of the gold-backed currencies and the dissolution of the fiat currencies that have no backing. We see the fiat currency system disappearing, and with it the wealth of the 95% owned by the 5% of domination forces. And that's exactly the reason why we're having difficulty maintaining our program this morning, as they are aware that we are affecting the consciousness of mankind, and that the consciousness of all humans, the desire and will, is for a stabilized, unified financial, gold-based or asset-based system. Now we let that resonance roll around the world, stabilizing, bringing harmony, releasing the stress from the world that is causing stress in the weather patterns. Now we want to release the earthquake grid now, and that human consciousness grid. Bring your awareness back into your own systems, and back into the Wolf Spirit Radio system now. And we've had requests for healing this morning, so let's take our unified point of attention and power to Rich's wife June in Maui, who's having distress in her inner systems. Just focus desire and intent through June to stabilize her systems and to clear her of an intrusive force that I see invading. It's an opposition force that's getting too rich through her. We simply release that system, wrap June in a healing force field of energy that will resist any intrusive forces to throw her off balance, which can inhibit Rich in his activity and work in the islands. Through the power of the conscious in us, we see June in the perfect and normal condition. We have a request from Teresa for her brother Dave, that's in the hospital having a knee operation as we speak. Send intent and healing energy to Dave, that there be no problems with the surgery, and that he has a rapid recovery. We wrap that knee in a force field of healing energy.
It's the right knee, right?
Teresa?
Yes, it is.
All right, very good.
His name is Gary.
Jerry? Okay, I thought it was Gary or Dave. All right. Well, we fixed Dave while we were at it. Let's go to Gary and heal his knee now. I do feel that knee stabilizing. No problem with recovery. And the therapy that he will do, healing very rapidly. Does anyone else have healing requests this morning?
Catherine's right hip.
Catherine's right hip. There's the power of the Christ within us. We kick Catherine's hip in the perfect and normal condition. We release the stress created by the accident many years ago where the hip was damaged. Clearing the thought form. Clearing the shock and trauma of the accident. Bringing Catherine back into the perfect and normal condition. Able to walk with full movement. With no pain or restrictions, releasing old scar tissue. We direct the flow of galactic energy through our hands to create an energy orb around Catherine's lower body and her entire body to help her come back into the perfect and normal condition, stabilized. All right, if there are no further requests, we'll drop off for this morning. Looking forward to Saturday. And bring your requests with you for the Saturday program. And looking towards Sunday when we'll have a lot of new information. That's all I can say at this point.
May the force be with us.
So Dave, if you'd like to drop the call now, we thank you for your support and efforts, and we thank you for your patience with the opposition force.